Okay, good evening, all of you. From last lecture, we have started the study of non-ferrous alloys. In that, we have started study related to the copper and copper alloys. I think at this point already I have discussed. Just I have added this chart. That is a classification of the copper alloys based on whichever microstructure or phases are present there as brasses and bronzes, or you can say that this classification is done on the basis of which alloying element is added in it, which alloying element is added in the base metal considered as the copper. Okay, I think we have discussed all these points. Classification, equilibrium diagram also we have discussed in last lecture. Then mechanical properties of the process also we have discussed. Then classification on the basis of there is microstructures or phases present in the brasses. Then depending on the color, red brass and yellow brass. That I will repeat that classification part here again. In this, from this chart, you can clearly see that copper alloys, copper alloys are classified in two types depending on the alloying elements, and depending on their alloying elements, only their phases or microstructure will get changed. That's why this classification in bracket I have written based on the microstructure or phases. You can also write here based on the alloying element present. Depending on only alloying element, phases or microstructures will get changed. Now these copper alloys will be basically classified in two types. One will be brasses and another will be bronzes. Now in the brasses, you can say that here in copper, alloying element will be zinc. Copper will be base metal and alloying element will be zinc. And in case of the bronze, in case of the bronze, uh, these are the alloys of the copper containing any other alloying element except the zinc. Okay, other than zinc, whenever you are adding the alloying elements in the copper, and respective name will be given for that particular bronze. Suppose you have added aluminium in the copper, then it will be termed as the aluminium bronze. Suppose you have added tin, then it will be termed as tin bronze. If you have added silicon in the copper, it will be termed as silicon bronze. Then if you have added beryllium, it will be termed as beryllium bronze. In this way, the further classification of the bronzes will be done depending on the name of that alloying element. Okay, now these brasses will be classified basically in two types depending on the phases present, as alpha brasses and alpha beta brasses. Alpha brasses, only single phase will be there, that is alpha phase will be there. And in alpha beta brasses, two phases will be there. One will be alpha phase and another will be beta phase. These alpha beta brasses are also known as duplex brasses. Okay, as two phases are there, the name will be given as duplex brasses. And alpha brasses, uh, for alpha brasses, they are having properties like this. Means already we have discussed that comparison chart. Here alpha brasses will be having zinc less than 30%, and as zinc is up to 30%, these will be soft, malleable and ductile, and we can do the cold working operations on the alpha brasses. Okay, cold working operation. That's why these alpha brasses are also known as cold working brasses. These are also termed as cold working brasses. And this beta brasses, alpha beta brasses, zinc will be 30 to 44%. These will be very hard and strong in nature, but they will be having very poor corrosion resistance. To improve the corrosion resistance in alpha beta brasses, you can add some other alloying elements depending on your application. And on these alpha beta brasses, you can easily do the hot working operations. That's why these alpha beta brasses are known as hot working brasses. Okay, alpha brasses will be known as cold working brasses. Alpha beta brasses will be termed as hot working brasses. And here I have given some examples, that cap copper, then gilding metal. This is not gliding, there is some spelling mistake has been done. This is gilding metal. Then cartridge brass, admiralty brass. And then for alpha beta brasses, Munds metal, then naval brass, leaded brass, high tensile brasses, and brazing brass. These are a few examples. For each of these examples, we are going to discuss in detail related to their composition, their properties, and applications. In aspect of the properties, all these four, suppose all these four brasses here, I have written in the alpha brass. Common properties will be there. That is, they will be soft, malleable, and ductile in nature. And depending on the extra added elements, some specific property change will be there. In the same way, here also they will be having some common properties, like they will be hard in nature, strong in nature, and depending on the some additional alloying elements present, some properties will get changed. How that changes occurs, that we are going to discuss in the later half of this lecture. uh, we will continue with the classification. Like this, alpha brasses are classified in this. This is not classification actually, depending on the composition we have taken as examples, and these examples are in your syllabus, and here I have taken it as further classification. And then alpha beta brasses also are there. This alpha brasses are termed as cold working brasses, and alpha beta brasses are termed as hot working brasses. Okay, so this is the classification depending on their alloying element, and depending on their alloying element, their phases and microstructures will get changed. Depending on that, this is the classification. And this brass material is also classified depending on their color. Okay, already this part I have discussed yesterday, but I will repeat it. The brasses will be classified as red brasses and yellow brasses. Whenever percentage of zinc is less than 20%, it will be termed as a red brass, and whenever percentage of zinc is more than 20%, it will be termed as yellow brass. Why it is termed as a red? When means amount of zinc is less than 20%, its color will be reddish. Okay, in these two slides, it is very visible, clearly visible, that this red brasses will be having a reddish color. As the zinc amount is less, its color will be reddish, and when as zinc amount goes on increasing, its color will change to yellow. These are yellow brasses, they will be having yellowish color. Okay, depending on the percentage, or depending on the amount of the zinc. When less than 20%, it will be having reddish color, and more than 20 or more than 15%, actually in practice, these are the theoretical values, but whenever you are changing the composition or amount up to 15 or more than 15, it will this color will get changed to yellowish. Rather than the appearance is not reddish, it will appear as a yellow color. Okay, but theoretical values are 20%, but in actual practice, if you check, 15%, whenever zinc amount is 15 or more than 15, it will appear yellow in color only. Okay, so this is the classification of the brass depending on phases and depending on the amount of zinc, or depending on their appearance or color. So now we will discuss one by one whichever examples I have given here. These cap copper, gilding metal, cartridge brass, admiralty brass. For alpha brasses, 4 examples, and for alpha beta brasses, 5 examples are here. Now out of these 9, in your final examination, they will give you any 3 names. Any 3 names will be there, and you have to write the answer in such a way that means your first point will be related to their composition, and second point you have to explain their properties, and third point will be of application. And each question will carry only 2 marks. Sometimes they may ask you the microstructures also. That microstructures we will discuss in the next lecture. In this lecture, we are going to discuss related to composition, properties, and applications. From this 9, minimum 3 will be there. Means they will give you 4 or 5 names, but you have to answer any 3. For each question, 2 marks will be there, and the marking scheme will be like this. This composition will be for half mark, properties for half mark, and applications will carry 1 mark. Okay, in this way the distribution of the marks will be there. Now we will start with the alpha brasses. Now here, as far as before starting their properties and actual applications of, as all these 4 names, that is cap copper, then gilding metal, cartridge brass, and admiralty brass. These all are alpha brasses, or you can say that single phase brasses or cold working brasses. These are soft, malleable, and ductile in nature. This will be a common property. You can write this property for all four types. Okay, and depending on the amount of the alloying elements, some properties will get changed. Okay, now we will discuss it one by one. This They are soft, malleable, and ductile in nature, and this property you can write for all four types, and some specific extra properties will be there that we will discuss. Now here in the composition, for cap copper, the amount of zinc will be 2 to 5%. Okay, zinc amount will be very less here, and remaining amount or balance amount of copper will be there. 2 to 5% zinc, and remaining amount will be of copper, and their color will be here, as a zinc amount is very less, they will appear a reddish in color. You can add that point in properties also. They will appear a reddish in color, and they will be having fairly good corrosion resistance. And what are the applications? Now these are used for manufacturing the caps of the detonators in the ammunition factories. Whichever detonators we are using in the ammunition factories, and that caps will be manufactured with the help of these cap coppers only. uh, okay, so this is the composition, properties, and their applications. Now after this, the next is the second type of alpha brasses will be gilding metal. Now in this gilding metal, you can clearly see that amount of zinc is increased here. In cap copper, 2 to 5% zinc is there. Now in this case, in the zinc, 5 to 15% zinc will be there, and remaining amount of copper will be there. Okay, only zinc is there, only zinc, 5 to 15% zinc, and copper will be base metal or parent element. Now here their the properties will be similar, that is, they are soft, malleable, ductile in nature, and fairly good corrosion resistance will be there. But one extra property will get added here, as you can see that zinc amount is varying from 5 to 15%. For this gilding metal, you will get the different color shades can be available in this metal. Okay, or in this kind of brass, you will get the different shades depending on the amount of the zinc. As it goes on increasing from 5 to 15, you will get the colors from reddish to the yellowish. So this is some specific property in gilding metal. Now depending on all these properties, specific applications are there. Now these gilding metals are used for manufacturing of the whichever envelopes are there for that bullets. Okay, envelopes of the bullets, then different types of the drawn containers, condenser tubes, then coins, needles, emblems, then race jewelry. I have taken few pictures for that, you can see that. Now this is the bullet which is used in the different guns. You can say that different guns. This is the bullet. Whichever envelope is there, this top cover, this envelope is manufactured with the help of these gilding metals. Okay, so then a different number of containers are there. Containers in the sense, you can take this glass or different plates will be there, made up of the brass. Okay, ब्रास इज नथिंग बट आपण आपल्या घरामध्ये जे पितळेचे भांडे जे असतात ते आपण म्हणू शकतो की ते गिल्डिंग मेटलचे असतात जनरली. ओके, देन दी नेक्स्ट इज emblems. Emblems is nothing but in Marathi you can say that आपण जे एखादा सिम्बॉल किंवा प्रतीक म्हणून जे वापरतो, त्याच्यासाठी प्रतीक एखादं तयार करण्यासाठी किंवा प्रतिमा तयार करण्यासाठी जे पितळ वापरलं जातं त्याला आपण काय म्हणतो, त्या मूर्ती किंवा प्रतिमा असते त्याला आपण इम्ब्लेम्स म्हणतो. ओके, हिअर आय हॅव टेकन वन एक्झाम्पल ऑफ दी इम्ब्लेम्स फॉर emblem of that Royal Enfield bike. This is older emblem which I have taken from the internet source. Then some brass needles are there. that brass needles are also manufactured with the help of this gilding metal. Then whichever some yellow colored brass material or brass design is there on various dresses, some design will be there. That design will be made up of this gilding metal, because sometimes it will whenever amount of zinc is at the on the higher side, that is up to 15%, it will appear as yellowish in color, or you can say it will look like a gold only. Okay, then it will be used for manufacturing of the different coins of the brasses. So these are the applications of the gilding metals. Okay, so this is the gilding metal. These are some applications, and its composition will be 5 to 15% zinc, and remaining amount will be of copper. And as copper is varying from 5 to 15, you will get the different shades depending on the amount of the zinc from reddish to yellowish, and depending on that composition, different applications will be there, like bullet envelopes, drawn containers, then condenser tube, coins, needles, different emblems, then different dress jewelries that will be manufactured with the help of this gilding metal only. Then these are the pictures for that bullet envelopes. You can see here bullet envelopes, this top portion. Then some containers like glass plates, spoons, these will be manufactured with the help of that gilding metal only. And emblems, needles, coins. And after that, next type of this alpha brasses is cartridge brass. Now in cartridge brass, 30% zinc will be there, 30% zinc will be there, and 70% copper will be there. And that's why this cartridge brass is also termed as 70-30 brass. 70% copper and 30% zinc will be there. 30% zinc and remaining means 70% amount will be of copper. It is also known as the 70-30 brass. Okay, now as far as we can do the comparison of these three brasses, means cap copper, gilding metal, and cartridge brass. Among these three, this cartridge brass will be having highest ductility or maximum ductility and maximum malleability. Okay, as amount of zinc is maximum, and that will be up to 30%. Okay, when this goes beyond the limit of solid solubility, means above that 38%, then what will happen, the toughness or this its ductility will decrease, as beta phase will appear there. But as far as single phase is there, this 70-30 brass, and it will be having a single alpha phase, it will be having maximum malleability and ductility. As you compare the compare this with the first two types, it will be having highest malleability and ductility in nature. And due to that highest malleability and ductility in nature, here the specific property will be added, that you can perform different forming operations, like suppose deep drawing, stretching, and press working, trimming. Different operations can be very easily performed on this type of brass, that is cartridge brass or 70-30 brass. As zinc is up to 30%, it will be having maximum malleability and ductility. Now some specific applications are there for manufacturing of the cartridge cases, then radiator fins, a lamp fixture, different types of rivets are there, different types of springs are there. All these are manufactured with the help of this cartridge brass. Specifically, this name is given as cartridge brass because it is used for manufacturing of the cartridge cartridge case. These are the cases. Okay, cartridge is nothing but you can say that in Marathi मध्ये त्याला काडतूस म्हणतात. Okay, काडतूस is there, and that cartridge case. Okay, whichever top case is there of that, whichever bullets I have shown you in simple way, these bullets which are having dark yellowish color, they will be manufactured with the help of these cartridge cases. Okay, or cartridge brass. These cartridge cases will be manufactured with the help of that cartridge brass. That top envelope, you can say that is will be termed as the cartridge. Or if you have seen any in the movies, in the action sequences, when there will be action scenes and someone is firing the gun, you will see the some caps are falling from the gun. Okay, जे ऍक्शन मूवीज मध्ये जे कॅप्स असं बंदुकीतून गोळी मारल्यानंतर जे कॅप्स उडून पडतात बाजूला, त्याला आपण काय म्हणतो, दॅट इज द कार्ट्रिज केस. If you have seen any action movie scenes, in that you can see it clearly whenever there is any firing scene from the, suppose, guns or different AK-47 they are using, that uh, while during the firing, what will happen, one cap will get dropped from that gun. Okay, that cap is nothing but the cartridge case. Okay, so that you can easily remember that, that is the cartridge case. Then the next application, these are the springs which are having dark yellow color. Then different types of the rivets, different types of the rivets are there. Then lamp fixtures, different designed lamp fixtures. Nowadays you are using these for the decoration of your home or decoration of your house or decoration of the restaurants, hotels. They are using this fixtures which will appear dark yellow in color, that will be made up of this cartridge brass only. Then different types of the radiator fins. Okay, these are radiator fins which we are using in the different automobile applications. Okay, that radiator fins are also manufactured with the help of this cartridge brass only. So these are some specific applications. Okay, cartridge cases, radiator fins, lamp fixture, rivets, springs, all these are manufactured with the help of this 7030, that is the cartridge brass. And after this cartridge brass, the fourth type of alpha brasses is admiralty brass. Now in this admiralty brass, here simply in the whichever 7030 or cartridge brass is there, in that cartridge brass we are adding 1%, about 1% amount of tin, and in some specific cases 2% amount of aluminum will be added, or and if needed the arsenic element will be added. Whichever cartridge brass is there, that is 7030 brass, some amount 30% zinc will be there, about 30% or 29 to 30% zinc, then 1% tin, 2% aluminum, and very small amount of arsenic will be added. Then what will happen due to addition of this tin, aluminum, arsenic, the corrosion resistance of these brasses will get increased. Corrosion resistance will get increased. It will be soft, malleable, and ductile in nature, and due to addition of tin, aluminum, and arsenic, its corrosion resistance will get improved. And now as its corrosion resistance is improved, now you can use this for different marine applications also. Marine applications, because whenever we are using some metals or alloys in the marine application, it should provide the better corrosion resistance as it comes in the contact with the seawater. And that seawater, it consists of the salt, that sodium chloride salt will be there. It will corrode the that metal or alloy. That's why it should have better corrosion resistance. And as here we have added the tin, aluminum elements, it will provide you better corrosion resistance. Okay, that's why it can be used for marine applications. Then this admiralty brass, you can use it for manufacturing of different condenser tube and different types of the heat exchangers which we are using in the uh, you can say that steam power plants. Okay, or simply you can remember different types of condenser tubes and different types of the heat exchangers. Okay, now here in some cases, in the some type of admiralty brass, only zinc and tin is present. Then why that 2% aluminum is added in it? That 2% aluminum is added to avoid the dezinsification process. Okay, dezinsification process means loss of the zinc element. Okay, loss of the zinc element. Now what will happen, suppose this aluminum is not present in this admiralty brass, then it is having only copper, zinc and tin. And when we are using that alloy in the marine applications, then that component or that alloy will come in contact with the seawater, and that seawater is very corrosive in nature. Then at that time what will happen, here the loss of zinc will occur. Okay, zinc will get dissolved. You can simply say that zinc will get dissolved in the seawater, and a loss of zinc will occur. This process will be termed as dezincification process. And as zinc is we have lost here lots of amount of zinc, whichever copper is remain there, uh, it will get subjected to the pitting corrosion. Means it will get dissolved in the powder form. Okay, small powders will be formed of that alloy in the liquid state, and there will be some leakage. There will It will result in the some leakage in that particular component. Okay, are you understanding this step, that is dezincification? Why we have added the aluminum? If aluminum is not present, then what will happen? Whenever that this alloy comes in contact with seawater, due to the very high corrosive nature of this seawater, that zinc will get dissolved in that seawater and loss of zinc will occur. And due to loss of this zinc, it will result in the pitting type of corrosion of that copper. Pitting type of corrosion means that copper will become very porous and liquid type of powder will be formed, and that alloy will get subjected, or it will form some leakage. It will form some leakage. So to avoid this dezincification process and leakages, you have to add 2% of the up to 2% of the aluminum in this admiralty brass. Okay, and after the addition of this 2% aluminum, that alloy you can use for the marine applications. If 2% aluminum is not present, then you can use that, but you have to use it for condenser tube and heat exchangers only. When that 2% aluminum is there, then that type of admiralty brass you can use it in the marine applications also. Okay, so these are the four alpha brasses: cap copper, gilding metal, then cartridge brass and admiralty brass. Their composition, properties and applications we have discussed here. Then after this alpha brasses, we will move towards the alpha beta brasses. And in that alpha beta brasses, the first brass is Muntz metal. Muntz metal, or this Muntz metal are also known as 60-40 brass. 60% copper and 40% zinc will be there, as you can see in the composition point. Zinc up to 40% and remaining or balance amount of the copper will be there. Now, as amount of zinc is more than 30%, or you can say that above that solid solubility limit is 38%, above that zinc is present. And due to this, what will happen here, beta phase will be there. Means two phase structure will be there, alpha phase and beta phase. And this whichever beta phase is appearing here, it is hard and strong in nature. Okay, hard and strong in nature means it will be having more tensile strength, but its ductility will be less. Ductility or malleability is less due to presence of this beta phase. And some properties I have highlighted there, that is they are hard and strong in nature as compared to that alpha brasses. And here you have to use the hot working operations. Sorry. Okay, here sorry for disturbance. Here as these are having very hard and strong nature, we can do their fabrication operations, but you have to, or for performing different operations, you have to use the hot working processes. And these alpha beta brasses are having lesser cost as compared to all alpha brushes, okay, its cost will be less. As zinc amount is increasing, cost will goes on decreasing. You have to remember this point, okay, because zinc value of zinc is less as compared to the copper. Then these Muntz metal are used for manufacturing of the different kinds of the components, or different kinds of applications will be like this shafts, nuts, bolts, and different pump components or pump parts, and different kind of condenser tubes will be there, and different utensils are there, that all are manufactured with the help of this Muntz metal only. And this will be the alpha beta brushes. It will be having two phase structure. And after this Muntz metal, the second type of alpha beta brass is the naval brass. This naval brass is also termed as the Tobin bronze. Its another name is Tobin bronze. It is one more type of the alpha beta brasses. Now here, in addition, whichever Muntz metal is there, it is having up to 40% zinc. Now in that only you have to add 1% amount of tin. By reducing zinc by 1%, 1% tin is added. Its composition will be like this: zinc up to 39%, 1% tin, and remaining amount of the copper. Now why we are adding tin in this? Due to addition of this tin, its corrosion resistance will get improved. Its corrosion resistance will get improved. Only that specific property will get added here. Remaining all three properties, that is they are hard and strong in nature, then they can be fabricated, or the you can perform different hot working operations very easily on this type of brasses. Then these are very cheap as compared to the alpha brasses. All these properties will remain same. Just one property will get added. Due to addition of that 1% amount of tin, they will provide you better corrosion resistance. Means you can use it for different marine applications. Okay, different marine applications. You can write that different marine applications like marine hardwares, and different propeller shafts are there, manufacturing of different piston rods and different nuts, bolts, then welding rods. These can be manufactured with the help of this naval brass only. Then after this, the next type or third type of alpha beta brasses is the leaded brass. Okay, this leaded brass, okay, okay, this Tobin bronze is not here. Wait, this leaded brass, this Tobin bronze is not there here. Okay, this is the leaded brass. Now in this leaded brass, okay, on that Tobin bronze name is just for that naval brass. By mistake I have written that, I have edited that. Okay, please take note of it. This now, this the leaded brass is there. Okay, now just try to remember the composition of the Muntz metal. Just we are adding one extra element in the next type of the brasses. In naval brass we have added the 1% tin, and now in the leaded brass, just you have to take the Muntz metal or the naval brass, and you have to add 1 to 3% of that lead. Okay, from that name is given as leaded brass. Here we have added 1 to 3% of lead in the naval brass or in the Muntz metal. In these two, you have to add 1 to 3% amount of the lead. Now why we are adding this lead? Due to addition of this lead, here globular lead will form, or it will present in the form of globules, or it will present in the spherical shaped lead will be there. And due to the spherical shaped lead, it will help in the formation of the chips. Okay, formation of the chips during the machining operation. That's why it will result in the better machinability. Will be there. Okay, but it will result in the lesser impact resistance because sometimes that lead will get segregated at one place only. Due to that, sometimes it will result in the lesser impact resistance, but it will improve the machinability of that brass. Okay, in Muntz metal and in naval brass, we are adding 1 to 3% lead. Due to addition of this lead, what will happen, it will present in the form of globule shape. Okay, lead will be there in the uh, and it will present in the globular form, or it will present in the spherical form. Due to that, it will help in the formation of chips, means it will increase the machinability. Remaining properties will be same that we have discussed, that is it will be hard and strong in nature. You can do the hot working operations very easily, and it will be having lesser cost as compared to the alpha brushes. Now these leaded brass, these are used, these you can use, you can write the same applications as that of the naval brass here. Okay, just what we have done here, for the same application purposes, we have improved the machinability, so that you can convert, give the different shapes according to the our need. Means you can form the different shape nuts, different shape bolts, or different types of the shafts you can form depending on your need. Just here we have increased the machinability with the addition of the lead. 1 to 3% lead is added here. So these are the leaded brass, and this will is the third type of the alpha beta brasses. Then next, the fourth brass will be here, high tensile brass. Now in the high tensile brass, here we are going to increase the tensile strength, and some resistance we are going to increase, corrosion resistance we are going to increase. And how we are going to do this, how we are going to increase the tensile strength, and how we are going to increase its strength, by addition of some alloying elements in the 6040 brass. Okay, 6040 brass is nothing but your Muntz metal. In that Muntz metal only, we are adding the extra alloying elements like iron, manganese, aluminum, tin, nickel. All these alloying elements will be added in that 6040 brass, that is nothing but your Muntz metal. In that we are adding these elements. Due to addition of these elements, what will happen, its tensile strength and its corrosion resistance to the seawater, it will get increased. That's why it is termed as the high tensile brasses. And it will be hard and strong in nature, more hard, more strong as compared to alpha brasses. You can do different hot working operations very easily on this, and these are very cheap as compared to the alpha brasses type. Okay, just related to the composition point, you can write in the 6040 brass, that is in Muntz metal, the alloying elements like iron, manganese, tin, nickel, or aluminum are added to increase their tensile strength and corrosion resistance. And as we are increasing their tensile strength and corrosion resistance we are increasing here, means we are using it for marine applications. Okay, so these are used for manufacturing of different marine engine pumps, and different propellers are there, then different types of the gears, different types of the wall bodies. All these are manufactured with the help of these high tensile brasses, because for all these application it requires high tensile strength and higher wear, you can say that higher resistance to the corrosion, high resistance to the corrosion. That's why we are using these high tensile brushes. And how these high tensile brushes are formed, or what is their composition? These are 6040 brass, nothing but means in Muntz metal we are adding the alloying elements like iron, aluminum, tin, manganese, or nickel. Okay, so these are the high tensile brushes. Now after these high tensile brushes, the fifth type of alpha beta process is the brazing brass. And sorry, these are the brazing brass. Okay, these brazing brass, these are nothing but you can say that 50-50 brasses means 50% copper and 50% zinc will be there. Okay, these are I will repeat it. Sorry for disturbance again. Brazing brass. This is the fifth type of alpha beta brasses. These are also known as 50-50 brasses. Then why this name is given as 50-50 brasses? Depending on its composition, it contains 50% copper and 50% zinc. That's why it is termed as the 50-50 brasses. Now, as the amount of zinc is more than 44 or 45%, here it will be having very brittle nature, and here exact composition is more than 50% zinc is there. As zinc is more than 50%, here third phase, that is the gamma phase, will be present, and this gamma phase is very brittle in nature. That's why these brazing brasses are having brittle nature. These are very cheap, and its application is just it is used for the brazing purpose only, to do perform the brazing operation only. There is you can say that it is nothing but a joining operation, joining of some commercial brasses, and this will be done at approximately some temperature of 850 to 870 degrees Celsius temperature. At that temperature, we are doing that joining operation of different types of the commercial brasses, and this joining of different commercial brasses, it will be termed as the brazing operation. We are just doing the joining process here, and for that we are using this brazing brass only. It is having only one application, that is the performing the brazing operation. You cannot use for any other application, as here zinc amount is more than 50%. It will be very brittle in nature due to presence of this gamma phase. You cannot use it for any other practical application, just you can use it for performing the brazing process only. So in this way we have completed all the types of the alpha beta brasses. Okay, if you are having any difficulty, you can ask. If you are having any difficulty, you can ask me. Pawan Gauri is there. Pawan Gauri. Pawan Gauri is not there. Akshay Pansare. Have you understood all types with their applications? Okay. Uh, if you are having any doubt, you can ask me or put that in the chat box. Whether whichever part we have discussed in this lecture. In this lecture, we have discussed what we have discussed. I will just take a review. We have seen the classification. We have started with that classification point. Classification of copper alloys. Okay, classification of the copper alloys as brasses and bronzes, and then their further brief classification. All this classification will be done on the basis of the alloying element present, or you can simply say that based on their microstructure or phases. Then we have discussed the classification of the brasses on the basis of their color as red brass and yellow brass. Then we have seen discussed their different types of alpha brasses, in that cap copper, gilding metal, cartridge brass, and admiralty brass. Along with their composition properties and applications, we have discussed these types. And after that, we have discussed alpha beta brasses. In that, we have discussed Muntz metal, that is 6040 brass, naval brass, which is also known as the Tobin bronze, then leaded brass, high tensile brass, brazing brass. Brazing brass is also known as 5050 brass. Okay, and these alpha brasses, these are single phase brasses. Alpha beta brasses are two phase brasses or duplex brasses, and alpha brasses are also known as cold working brasses. Alpha beta brasses are also known as hot working brasses. Okay, and then we have discussed these all types in this lecture. In next lecture, we will discuss related to the some types of bronzes. Okay, 3 4 types are there, only four, these are commercially used. Number of bronzes will be there, but these four are used in practical life or commercially used: aluminum bronze, tin bronze, silicon bronze, and beryllium bronze, that we will discuss in the next lecture. And there is one term, that is the season cracking of the brass. Okay, season cracking of the brass. All these two types of the brasses, alpha brasses and alpha beta brasses, these two types are susceptible for the season cracking. Okay, and what is the phenomenon of this season cracking and all this part, along with after that different types of the bronzes, and specifically these four, related to these four bronzes, and that we are going to discuss in the our next lecture. If you are not if you are having any query, you can ask me, or if you are not having any query. Okay, one question is asked here. One minute, I will clear it. Pranay is asking one question. I will clear it with the help of this equilibrium diagram here. Okay. Yeah, his question is, they have taken it for just for the purpose of commercially application. Only one type which is having more than 50% amount is used, and that's why they have added in it. Okay, this alpha beta brasses type, alpha beta. Whether my voice is audible? Okay, if all points are clear. Okay, we have seen this month's naval legend, and this is the praising brass. Okay, if you are not having any queries, I will stop here. We'll stop the recording. I will wait. If you are having any queries, I will wait for a few minutes. Till that, I will stop the recording of this lecture. Thank you for attending this. I will stop this. Now, if you are having